This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by DAZN's Alfie Sharman here in New York. Alfie, always good to see you. How are you? How's the journey over from back in the UK?
Yeah, good to see you, Andy. Yeah, it was fine. Early start, early flight, fight week. We're here. It's good buzz, big fight feel. So, yeah, no, I'm very well, thank you. Very well.
Alfie, it's something which I've asked you about before, and it's been another hot topic throughout this fight week, kind of Ryan Garcia's behaviour. You've said we're here now. Was there ever a point you personally thought we might not be here?
Well, it's boxing, human beings, any scale of fight, and we're dealing with superstars here. So yes, I suppose is the answer, but not because of Ryan specifically, just because I'm used to the sport of boxing, to be honest. But we are here. That's the important thing. Ryan's looking good. He's looking big. He's looking strong, as is Devin. So yeah, looking forward to Saturday.
What's been kind of DAZN's stance on Ryan's behaviour leading into this fight? Was there ever that conversation of did we feel like it wasn't right to go ahead? What was the boundary as to what would have been maybe too far to allow Ryan to deem Ryan to be fit to fight on Saturday night?
We have, unequivocal trust in our promotional partners, in this case in Golden Boy, who obviously look after Ryan and Ryan's team, very close to him. So we're in regular dialogue with them. It's their responsibility to obviously look after the well-being of the fighters, and we very much take the lead on that. So there were regular communications, as always, with fights. Ryan is obviously a character, right, and a big personality and a superstar. So we have to stick to a process, which we do with all of these major fights. We often have multiple fights happening at the same time. If you don't have trust in your promotional partners, then you're going to struggle in big-time boxing. So no concerns. We're here. I'm excited. Ryan's just gone up, so. Yeah.
We'll have to end back there, you have to shoot off, so I'll grab you afterwards, Alfie.
Yeah, good stuff.
Alfie was just picking this back up, obviously, as we'd got probably 2-3 minutes into that interview. The presser, which was delayed slightly, quickly started, so yeah, picking it back up, but we'll just go back into what we saw there from press conference. A lot exchanged between both camps, a little side bet put on there between Devin and Ryan in terms of a weight. Just your entire reaction to everything that unfolded up on the top table.
Just a little side bet. It was $500,000, I think, at one point. Yeah, I mean, it's tense, as I said up there. It's got that big fight feeling, very much. Their team's obviously very vocal. There's not a lot of love lost. They both seem just eager to get in and get at each other now. But yeah, there's some choice words. Not words that I would choose personally, but yeah, it's fight week. Energies are higher, so yeah.
You have just said about it's fight week, and especially when fighters are making weight and their camps are around them, things can be tense. Maybe some words are exchanged which they wouldn't normally, but there's been kind of a strong, repeated kind of example of Bill saying that he wants Devin to go beyond just hurting Ryan Garcia. On that front, what do you make on kind of their take as to how they want Devin to really make an example out of Ryan?
Yeah, look, I think it's a figure of speech, but obviously, this is boxing, it's a physical sport. They want to win. They want to win emphatically, and they want Ryan to know that. And Ryan, right back the other way, has different ways, different techniques of making that point come across. But I think it's genuine. They really want to just get at each other. There's been a lot of build-up. There's been a lot of talk. And they're just trying to get through the next 48 hours.
One of the things that Ryan's maintained is this is just him building up the fight. For him, he's just acting to build it. We know that he's a superstar. We know he has a huge following, and he usually brings good numbers with him wherever he goes. On that front, regardless of whether people enjoy it today or not, they will tune in, they will watch it. How have the numbers been in the build-up to this fight?
Yeah, good. I mean, in terms of general kind of social noise, we've seen some extremely high numbers, probably comparable to maybe some of our X-Series shows, which is very much a social first audience. These guys obviously bring that traditional boxing purist audience. There's a real sweet spot here because they're so gifted and talented and credible, and obviously very, very good fighters, but their age and their kind of social first millennial demographic means that they bring that younger cohort of people as well. So the traffic that we're seeing on content. Obviously, the buyers are coming in. So, yeah, it's a big week for us. Huge week for the business. And we're really optimistic. I think it's going to be huge on Saturday.
Just with DAZN itself, a couple of questions. Obviously, we've seen an upcoming change in the pricing structure back home in the UK. As always, when things go up, you'll have your critics, you'll have people being unhappy. Can you just explain as to what prompted the decision to change the pricing structure?
Yeah, it wasn't a decision that we, took lightly. We obviously take a lot of time to make these decisions. We have to adjust to the marketplace, and obviously the added rights that we're adding to our portfolio and the content that we're putting out there to our customers. We are incredibly happy with our content slate. You look at the boxing alone at the moment. We have fights literally every week, sometimes 2 or 3 fights a week, and they're not just they're from the next generation of stars to the biggest names in the world. Obviously this weekend, I mentioned it up there, Canelo, Munguia, Fury Usyk. So that comes with us having to optimise our platform. We have adapted it to make it sensible. The annual plan, and still allows people to get the best content. It's the most efficient way to buy, and we are pushing people to try and commit to that for us. And yeah, it's, I suppose, the current economic state of of the world means that we need to optimise our pricing, but we've done it in the fairest way that we feel possible, and we're very proud of our content at the moment.
Obviously, certainly in the UK, Alfie, there's the cost of living crisis, a lot of people struggling. Is there a kind of a ceiling as to, in years to come, how high up we could expect to see maybe DAZN prices change?
A ceiling? Well, look, it doesn't work like that, as you know. I mean, some of our competitors are quadruple the price. It depends on what you're selling, of course. It's this is a business. We are investing heavily in our content offering globally around the world, and we'll continue to do that. We have an aspiration to become a sports destination. We're becoming that by the day. There's no ceiling. We don't operate like that as a company. We are nimble and agile and move with the times, and we'll continue to do that in the future.
And one final thing, Alfie, obviously this fight in particular is on pay-per-view back home in the UK. Again, going to be critics. What prompted that decision, and is whatever you expected to do numbers-wise, is that a justifiable amount financially for it to land on DAZN pay-per-view in the UK?
It's a huge fight. I mean, I think it's undeniably one of the fights of the year. This is a pay-per-view fight, and what comes with that is, we need to obviously we need to address that across the world, right? I mean, we have a huge boxing audience in the UK who are going to be very comfortable, and we've seen obviously in the numbers that people are very comfortable to pay the price that we're charging for this fight. It's a huge event. We can't wait for it, and I think certainly from the early stages of the numbers this week that we've seen, our customers can't wait either.
Just one final one then, obviously moving forwards, do you think that in the UK fans might be more expectant on seeing fights such as this, or maybe Canelo Munguia, that ilk, landing on DAZN pay-per-view over in the UK?
What do you mean, sorry, the bigger fights? Yeah, well, of course, look, I mean, as Eddie said up there, and as you will know, there isn't really a fight out there at the moment that DAZN aren't involved in. Now, let's also not forget the amount of value that we're throwing out there to our subscribers, that fights that aren't on pay-per-view. Virgil Ortiz, Ramirez doubleheader next weekend, Taylor Catterall 2 rematch, which has moved to the 27th of May. Huge fight. That's part of your subscription. Then you throw in the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world in Fury Usyk in a couple of months, and obviously Canelo Munguia. There's a variation of shows. What happens when you are bringing in fights every single week means that you need to vary your pricing. And we've always done that. That's not new, and it's certainly not new in the industry. We'll continue to do that, and we'll continue to be sensible with our strategies when it comes to pricing.
Alfie, it's a pleasure as always. Enjoy the rest of your time in New York. Thank you, and I'll see you Saturday.
Thanks, Andy.